With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. They go play action with Jackson. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Zay Flowers, 64 yards. And the Ravens will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. They said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback, but when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Open man is Yoshi Voss. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
It's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And he is caught. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 36. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play. Heck of a start for him here, Charles, on this opening drive, and they're doing it all through the air. That's 4 snaps and 4 passes so far.
I do think that there's an argument, Brandon, to maybe mix in a running play or two, but the way that these offenses are constructed, you can get that done with swing passes and checkdowns. The way they're throwing it, I keep pressing it downfield. Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. This will be caught by Brown. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6.
Partner, you know what I'm going to say before I even say it.
Yeah, you just cannot take a sack in that spot.
You're exactly right. You can't take a sack in that spot. Potentially now, a 3-point swing right there.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will stay at a 7-point game. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 9. Here's Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Flowers. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. The NFL's leading rusher in 2019 and 2020, Derrick Henry. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now Jackson. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And 3rd and 8 now. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Jackson from the shotgun. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early, but it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, on is Tyler Luke for the Baltimore field goal. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
All right, let's give the kicker some credit here because he didn't let the inaccurate snap phase him whatsoever. Trusted his holder to get the ball down in time, stuck to his routine, and somehow found a way to put the ball through the uprights.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation, already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
And that will be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So on fourth down, out is Ryan Rico to punt. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. And they'll send the tight end in motion. He'll start with a give to Henry. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Flag comes out, and that's because the offense did not get the play off in time.
And you can see the head coach, he is not happy. Everyone getting away from him right now because he's frustrated that they didn't get the ball snapped in time.
Doesn't look to be any confusion here as they come up now on a 2nd and 6 following the delay of game. After the penalty, it's Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one down the line of scrimmage.
And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A pretty sizable deficit here in the 1st quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
A couple of 1st downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. They keep it with Henry on 1st down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
From the gun, Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Andrews. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
But I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
A first down carry for Hendrickson. Yeah, nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They could probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
Now, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Throwing is Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead, and part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it with Henry. And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll send one of those 2 tight ends in motion. Henry again. Pushing for the end zone, but he's not going to get there. They stop him just shy of the goal line. And give him 2 yards officially, and now it'll be 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Jackson will keep it. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Ravens go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now the play clock hits 0 here, and we're going to get a delay. Well, just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now Burrow. Able to find Higgins. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Ravens' 49-yard line.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. Here's Burrow. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Zach Taylor, a new breed of head coach. He's going to go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Burrow. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Not often do 4th down conversions result in 23 yards, but that's the case here. 1st down. Burrow looking to pass. Another one into the hands of Jamar Chase. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. This duo locked in. 14 yards there and a 1st down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
The tight end in motion right. So offense moving a little too slow there. Could not get set, and they get the penalty. Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for 1st and goal. Now it's Burrow. Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line.
They go play action with Burrow. Touchdown, Bengals. Mike Gesicki, a 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
This is why a lot of play callers love play action in this spot. You just want to freeze the linebackers just for a second. Then you got a chance to get a quick pass into your tight end right behind them for a touchdown.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7.
Bengals 7.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. And they have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
First carry now for Justice Hill. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to float from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
The Ravens send their punter out now. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo, the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Yeah, he'll take it from the 18 to the 15, a gain of 3.
But we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And 3rd and 1 now.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Chase Brown, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals are back within a score.
And here on 3rd down, your number 1 goal, don't be a hero, just get the first down. But here, once he gets past the line of scrimmage, the field opens up for him, and he's able to take it right up the gut and into the end zone.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. And they'll begin by running the option. The quick feet by Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. 1st down. What a run there. I mean, you got speed, elusiveness, escapability, all rolled into one.
And we all know that quarterbacks are coached. They get the ball to the guys who can do all the things you just described. You want those guys who have speed, elusiveness, and escapability all rolled into one with the ball in their hands. And guess what? It's him. So there's no sense in throwing it or handing it off when you can do all of that yourself.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Inside handoff, Henry. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
No gain on the play.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Jackson. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. Here's Jackson to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback.
The Bengals offense returns to the field.
They came out not so hot. The first quarter, they were sputtering a little bit, but they seem to have stayed the course and really righted the ship here in the second.
Well, let's face it, all the preparation that goes into getting ready for a game, all the scouting reports, the practice, the repetition, sometimes you get a little bit of a lull to start things off. Maybe you get a little flat. But if you put in that time, you put in that effort, it can come back to you, and that's what we're seeing so far.
Now can they keep that momentum going?
That's good.
And you're starting to sense the momentum possibly changing just a little here. You get the touchdown in your previous drive, then you force a punt, and now this is a good positive play here to start this drive. And you can just sense the tide starting to turn here in a one-score game.
And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
So pass interference, the call is so tough as a defender, I'd imagine, to time that up perfectly.
It certainly is difficult to get it exactly right because sometimes you're looking at getting there fractions of seconds too early. That one looked a little more obvious. Always a tough penalty to officiate. Just ask the basketball refs when they have to officiate block and charge.
An inside give, Brown. Oh, some strong running. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
55 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Burrow on play action. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. Got a man, it's Brown. So nothing doing there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Open man is Chase, complete. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Burrow will throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 21. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Again, it's Burrow. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
At the 14-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 3. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. On the right side, open is Gesicki. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
1st and goal, Cincinnati.
Now it's Burrow. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. To the air again, Burrow. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Trenton Simpson, well, he just flew in there to drop him.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Mike Gesicki as the first half is winding down. And the Bengals have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. And McPherson on for the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17.
Makes the score Bengals 21, Ravens 17.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Ravens going to get one more drive here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
It's a gain of 20.
Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain.
This guy's proven himself to be one of the best in the NFL. He brings an added dimension to their offense with his ability to read defenses and know when he's able to pull it down and take off and go.
And they go play action now. Burrow toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
A gain of 15
It's a
yards.
pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
First down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. On 2nd and 11 now. Burrow. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Ravens are going to take over here up near the 40. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Off the option, here's Henry. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. They'll get this to Flowers, left side. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Jackson. Now he's going to step up and run. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And the busy night for Henry continues. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
And, Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL, and all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Henry out of the pistol. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They set up the screen to Hill. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
The whole idea of the screen pass is to fool the defense in a big way and create a big play.
They weren't fooled.
Not 1 second, not 1 bit. How about them figuring it out, diagnosing it, and spilling it for lost yardage?
And his kick is good. And that'll bring him back within a point. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Cincinnati set to take over once again. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it. But that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They snapped that at 1. Now it's Burrow. And this will be caught at the 30. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 39 yards there, a big one.
And as we all remember, these two were connecting back in their days at LSU when they were winning a national championship. But it wasn't just on game day. The amount of time they put in before practice, after practice, off day.
And this game to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
First down.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. From the gun, a give to Brown. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
That was a good illustration of setting the edge as a defensive end, being able to make sure that you stay on your feet no matter what type of block, and you're not going to get pushed inside. Stayed home, skated to the outside, and made the play.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
For the Bengals field goal. A 26-yard attempt.
McPherson's kick is good. And that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now a first down carry. It's Hill.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46.
They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury.
Jackson firing quickly out wide for Bateman.
They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty.
A gain of 14 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 36-yard line.
Now they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1.
Henry up the middle. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
One thing I do know that offensive linemen like, they like a guy who's carrying the ball that will take what is blocked. Not try and create a big play and maybe take a loss, not try and go where the blocking isn't. But if it's just all that's there and you just put your head and your shoulders down and get that, you get the respect of the big guys up front.
I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. Now it's Jackson.
There's Flowers. He's got it. Touchdown, Ravens.
A great play there. His second touchdown of the night.
And the Ravens have retaken a third-quarter lead.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
It feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football. And that's exactly what happened there.
Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Burrow looking to pass. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And that is incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens ready to take over. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up second down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Jackson, options out left. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
That'll be especially under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Jackson now. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
That's a gain of 8. Brings up 3rd and 8.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10
at their own 16.
Off of play action, he'll look to throw.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now Burrow.
Able to find Higgins.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line.
Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal 1st down.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Throwing again, it's Burrow.
And that's going to be caught downfield by Brown.
And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens 40. And even 30 yards on a play that began back at the 30.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5.
In motion, the tight end. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Burrow to his old LSU teammate Chase for a Bengal 1st.
Going old reliable there to the slot on 3rd down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? Try to go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 6.
Now it's Burrow. That is incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. And Burrow going to throw again. And that will be incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, and what was once a nice drive stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
Pearson on for the field goal. A 41-yard attempt.
McPherson's kick is good.
And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no wind. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And we essentially have a brand-new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. He fakes the give here and looks to throw. That is caught. Rashad Bateman. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Play action. Now Jackson. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
3rd and 15.
That time, finally, a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
Jackson going to keep it.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
From here on, any score could be the winning one, and he is certainly aware of that. Look at the way he locked in on that marker and made a mad scramble to get to it for the 1st down.
To throw is Jackson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Flowers. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll make it 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
It's not easy playing the corner, is it? A lot of times you got to defend against the pass, but sometimes you have to play against the run. How about the job he did there, crashing inside to make that tackle for a loss?
On 2nd down, here's a keeper by the QB. The quick,
and he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, a 21-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have broken our tie and have taken a 4th quarter lead. So the lanes continue to be there for Lamar Jackson to run that football. That his 2nd touchdown run of the game.
You know what I would like? I'd like for us to be able to go into a defense's room after playing Lamar Jackson and watch the tape and see how much of a lane was really there and how much he created just through his talents. In any event,
Lamar Jackson finds the end zone, doesn't he?
He always seems to, but that's a good point. We sometimes put blame on the defense. Maybe we just need to praise Lamar Jackson a little bit more. Now after the touchdown, Luke back out to kick this one away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And out now, here come the Bengals. And now after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 32-yard line.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
It's a gain of a yard. And the Bengals first down. A gain of a yard. First down, Bengals.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that's into the hands of Gesicki. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Throwing, Burrow. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
Bottom line, 2-yard gain's just not going to cut it in this situation. You've got to move the ball downfield in order to have a chance.
Defense will give them that the rest of the way. A big play here. Crowd on their feet. 3rd and 4. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a first down. So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the 4th.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. This is Brown going up the middle. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Now Burrow. He'll look underneath and finds Brown. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
First down. An 8-yard pickup. And the Bengal first down.
Here's 1st down. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So after the penalty, a break. 1st and 5. Here's Burrow. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
To throw, Burrow.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Burrow. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Jackson going to throw quickly here, complete. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it.
What a ball game this was. What an atmosphere this was. And the home team getting the late touchdown, getting the victory, and now everybody in this building can file away with smiles on their faces.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location, location, location. So being at home, that can be a big deal because remember, they were down to their final chance to retake the lead. That home field advantage, I think it helped fuel all of what happened for them down the stretch. A huge win.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.